Let me move on to our next award. Topic number 4 of the night is another Malapert Smark Award. This one is Moment of the Year. This is a little difficult to come up with candidates, but I'm trying to come up with a moment. So like one moment, basically. But we'll go through our candidates. So same thing. Voters is us 3. Each voter chooses top 5, and we'll add up the points. First through 5th place gets points, and we'll see who gets the most points at the end out of our 3 votes. And we'll give a winner a trophy to the moment of the year. So here's our candidates. Number 1, man, this was good. This was good. I really think somehow this should have won, but this is CM Punk screwing over Drew McIntyre dressed as a ref at Clash at the Castle in Drew McIntyre's home country. And Drew was going to fight for the title against Damian Priest. And they showed this long run-in of this long-ass fucking entrance, walkway where a ref was running in when the ref was down. And the ref comes in and makes a 2 count, and then he just stops. And it's fucking CM Punk. And then Drew McIntyre's face, when he fucking sees it, it's CM Punk. It was so fucking great. I remember watching this, I was with my girlfriend, and she had no idea about what the hell was happening. But I was watching this like, this can't be happening. Because people were like, this is not going to happen in Scotland. Like, there's no way. They will kill him. How is he going to get out of the building? You know what I mean? So it was fucking awesome. I cannot say enough about this. We'll see where it ended up on our list. I'm sure this showed up on the top 5 for the 3 of us, but we'll see. Number 2, The Rock slapping the taste out of Cody Rhodes' mouth at the WrestleMania kickoff press event. So this is the only one that comes on a show that's not from Raw or SmackDown or Dynamite or a pay-per-view. This was at the extra event they had where The Rock actually turned heel, where they pivoted from the original plan of having The Rock face Roman, and he slapped Cody Rhodes. So Robert, probably the biggest Rock fan here, but there you go. The Rock is in our list of top 10 moments. Number 3, Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house on Dynamite to close Dynamite. So another, man, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but on TNT, on TNT's YouTube page, they live streamed Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house and sitting there sipping whiskey for the whole day on Christmas. It was Christmas with Hangman Page, and it was just a video. It was a video on a loop. I swear to God.
Oh, really? Wow.
I swear to God.
So they played this whole thing over and over again.
Yes, I'm gonna find it for you and play it for you. Okay. I have to.
On taste with that. That's ridiculous.
Here it is.
Well, I guess this is happening right now.
Oh my God.
Only 261 people watching.
So they live streamed this all day on TNT's YouTube page. Was Christmas with Hangman.
So and just sitting there. So this was the video. Oh, I see. That's ridiculous. Wow.
Anyways, so I forgot to mention that. All right. So that's number 3 on our list. Top 10 moments. I'm going through the list. Top 10 moments of the year. So Hangman burning down Swerve's house. So this is something that gets mentioned a lot on the show. The one negative I'll give about it is that it's just weird that they're still on the show together and Swerve doesn't do anything about it. You know what I mean? So I always feel weird when Hangman comes out. I'm like, well, why doesn't Swerve come out right now? Every single time. I get that thought because this is always on my mind. But okay, it was still a fantastic moment. Let me move on, though. Let me run through the top 10. So number 4, I got Sami Uso reuniting with Roman Reigns in the Bloodline on SmackDown. So that was a nice moment. Number 5, this comes from the WrestleMania main event match that we just gave Match of the Year to. It was Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, but The Rock came out to help Roman because they were both in the Bloodline at the time. And then The Undertaker came out of fucking nowhere. Like, that was probably the most shocking thing that happened on that night. Was The Undertaker showing up, like the lights going out and choke slamming The Rock. So The Undertaker chokeslamming The Rock, that's number 5. Number 6, Cody actually finishing his story. So I'll consider this like right when the referee's hand hit the mat at number 3. And all the fans got the relief of like fucking Cody finishing his story. Okay, so I put that as another moment. So that match had a number of moments, but number 7, another CM Punk Drew McIntyre thing. So in addition to screwing him over in Scotland, he screwed him over at Money in the Bank. Drew McIntyre had won the Money in the Bank, and then he confidently walked into a match to cash it in. Who was it? It was like Gunther versus Damien or something?
I want to say that sounds right? Was that at Money in the Bank or?
Yeah, at Money in the Bank.
Oh, okay.
So Damien had won the Money in the Bank earlier in the night, and then he cashed in during the world title match when both guys were down, and he was supremely confident. He gave it in 1 second. It wasn't like these Tiffany Stratton ones where she's waiting and deciding. No, he just handed it to the ref. He's like, let me just go take this world title right now. And then CM Punk came out of nowhere and completely fucked his fucking Money in the Bank briefcase contract.
Oh, and this is when he was still injured, Punk was, right? But he was at the what was happening? I just remember him doing something, but or am I thinking of another situation?
He came out of nowhere. I
came out of nowhere.
He just came out of nowhere and just fucking choked Drew McIntyre. No, you're thinking of WrestleMania.
I'm thinking of WrestleMania. Okay, I got those two confused.
That was another moment that I should have put on my honorable mentions list or something. That was a great one. I forgot about that one.
They had so many moments.
Yeah, they did.
Oh my God.
That's why it's Feud of the Year.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my number 8, let me move along, is John Cena's surprise involvement at the WrestleMania main event. So that match has a bunch of moments on this list. But yeah, no, people weren't expecting Cena, but it did make sense. It wasn't like the Undertaker one that didn't make any goddamn sense. He was feuding with the Bloodline before. He had a feud with Solo. The last time we saw him, he got beat the fuck out of by Solo, and then he came in and gave Solo the AA and then did a stare off with The Rock, which was pretty goddamn awesome. Number 9, this is from Robert. Robert convinced me to put this one on the list. It's the Bloodline powerbombing Paul Heyman through a table after he refuses to acknowledge Solo on SmackDown. All right.
Yeah,
and then number 10, the last one is the New Day turning Big E away on Raw during their heel turn. All right. Honorable mentions. So these are ones that are not available to be voted for, but I'm putting them on the list because they're just...
I'm sure you loved putting this one on the list.
Well, this ended up coming about multiple times. Like, this is just the first time. To me, I'm putting the first one as just like a moment that Liv Morgan and Dominic ending up in a weird sex position kept happening again and again, but it was hilarious every single time. My next one is Jey Uso winning his first singles title, the IC title. This was kind of like Cody finishing his story, but like to a lesser degree, you know what I mean? But, okay. And then my another honorable mention I have is Logan Paul catching LA Knight taking a swim in his swimming pool on SmackDown. This was pretty funny to me. I mean, imagine just fucking coming home and LA Knight's in your goddamn swimming pool. So, and then
interesting. I thought you would have added maybe LA Knight. And I know we mentioned LA Knight and AJ's feud.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you mentioned them getting, the whole getting arrested thing.
Yeah, I know. With the police coming into LA Knight or AJ Styles' house and everything.
Yeah.
I know it didn't make my list, but I couldn't put everything. But
no, that's true. There's too many.
This is one that I really liked. Braun Breaker sending Ricochet to AEW.
Well, basically, right? Oh, brother, yes.
So, yeah, he slammed... Well, Ricochet was trying to be a badass, right? Because I think Braun Breaker kicked his ass the night before, and then Ricochet was trying to fight him backstage, and then he just got fucked up and slammed through a car.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was the last... That's the last we saw of Ricochet in reality.
Yeah, you're probably right. But nonetheless...
But okay, my top five moments of the year according to Kahan. I'll go first. My number 1 is The Undertaker chokeslamming The Rock. Okay, because that to me was just the most unfathomable, surprising, weirdest, trippiest thing I could ever fucking imagine ever. So my number two is.
But do you agree? Do you agree that in that moment that it would have been better if it was Stone Cold, or do you think it was fine as is?
I think it was fine as is. I have no problem with it. No.
I mean, no, I don't have. Obviously, don't have a problem with it. But
it made sense. Would have been better. You know how I said it didn't make sense because he didn't have anything to do with that feud? I think it made sense just because Undertaker is supposed to be like the purveyor of justice. And the lights went out and he just watches. He's the overlord watching over thing. And this just had to happen. Cody had to finish his story or whatever. I mean, but okay. My number two is Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house. Okay, so 4 points for that for me. I love that. To me, I love Hangman Page, and I thought that was fucking hilarious and great. I know unrealistic, Vlad, and he should have went to jail in reality, but still, it's wrestling. Whatever, you got to do the most craziest thing you could think of sometimes, and that's what they did. My number three is the CM Punk screwing over Drew McIntyre. This shows what a good year we had, because this was such a good moment. This could have been number one easy. CM Punk screwing over Drew dressed as a ref at Clash at the Castle. So 3 points there for me. And then same feud for me is the Money in the Bank cash-in ruin that CM Punk ruined Drew McIntyre's Money in the Bank cash-in. And then my number five is John Cena's involvement and stare-off with The Rock at WrestleMania. So comments from myself, Cody finishing his story didn't make my top five moments. Because I don't know. I don't know if I was not a proponent of Cody finishing his story. I was one of the few that said, this is not going to go anywhere.
Which is absurd, because the previous year you were crying.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is
you were so upset when it didn't happen the year before.
You said you were distraught and you couldn't sleep or some shit, and then the next year you didn't even.
Okay, so they made us wait. They made us wait a year. Whatever. What the fuck was the point of that then? They should have just, if they were gonna make us wait, make it like a bigger long-term story. You know what I mean? But.
No,
I don't know. I also thought they didn't have anything really set up for Cody afterwards.
That's a fair criticism.
That's true.
And a lot of people say that. So, all right, Vlad. So here's your top five. Your number one is Cody finishing his story. Okay. Your number two is The Rock slapping Cody at that press event for the pre-WrestleMania kickoff press event.
Yeah.
And your number three is CM Punk screwing over Drew at Clash at the Castle in Scotland dressed as a ref. And your number four, believe it or not, Mr. AEW hater, is Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house. So that.
Hey, I said I was trying some new stuff. I'm trying to be nice. Come on.
And then number five is New Day turning Big E away during their heel turn. So okay, okay, that actually did show up in your comments. As ridiculous as it was, Vlad says, Hangman burning down Swerve's house was still memorable, so it made my top five. Okay. All right, and then Robert's... Oh, wait, hold on, Vlad. Did you want to comment on any of these or the stuff, anything you have to say?
I think pretty much all of it speaks for itself. I think the only one that would probably get an eyebrow raise, one of the Rock's eyebrow raises, is Hangman and Swerve, based on my history of commenting on AEW. But... I think even with what, as I said, as wild and nutty as it was, you have to give it as a moment some sort of credit, because it was pretty memorable. Like, people were talking about just the audacity of actually doing something like that, and airing something like that. So, I gave him something for that.
All right, let's move on to Robert's top five. Same number one as you. You guys had the same number one. Cody finishing his story. I guess the moment the referee's hand hit 3 and everyone got to celebrate was such a great moment. Okay.
Well, it was 2 years in the making. 2 years worth of television to make it happen. I think it had to be at least in top five at minimum. But I had it number one. But anyway, sorry, it's Robert's.
Yeah, me too.
The Rock slapping Cody. All right, so you're a Rock fan. I could see this being on your list. Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house, also on your list. Number 3, The Bloodline. So this was the only one where you were the only one who voted for this in your top 5. The Bloodline power bombing Paul Heyman through a table after he refuses to acknowledge Solo. That was a great moment. And then the New Day turning Big E away, and during their heel turn. So, okay. Robert, any comments before I reveal the winner of Moment of the Year in Pro Wrestling?
Okay. Pretty much most of it is self-explanatory, except I just one comment on my number 2 pick, The Rock slapping Cody. I chose that moment mainly because it was kind of a cherry on top of a very important event. Because remember, at that time there were a lot of people that were upset about The Rock taking over the main event of WrestleMania. So they held that press event to pivot, right?
Yes.
Like the Rock slapping Cody, that didn't necessarily have to happen, for him to get heat, because at that point he already got the heat.
That's true.
By taking over, right?
But that was nuclear heat at that point.
Yeah, like I could make the argument of another moment in that same event probably being just as good because of the significance of it is when during The Rock's and Roman's presentation, Cody Rhodes interrupted and said, "This is bullshit.
Oh yeah,
I won Royal Rumble. I get to choose when I fight for the title. I'm going to fight for it in WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, I'm challenging you." I could make the argument that's a bigger moment because it was more that's when the pivot really happened, right? Like that.
Yes.
So, but the Rock slapping Cody, that was kind of just like the cherry on top of that whole event. But the rest, I think, is everyone would understand why I put the other 4 on there.
Okay, well, let's see who wins. Let's go to the results, totals. Number 9, 9th place, Moment of the Year, is the Bloodline powerbombing Paul Heyman through a table. Damn, what a year. That comes in at number 9. Number 8 is John Cena's surprise involvement in WrestleMania. Okay. Number 7, CM Punk ruining Drew McIntyre's cash-in at Clash at the Castle with 2 points. Number 6 is The New Day turning Big E away with 2 points. Number 5, The Undertaker chokeslamming The Rock. So I was the only one that put this on my list, actually. I thought it was a fantastic moment. I was kind of surprised that neither one of you put it on your list of top 5, but okay. Number 4, CM Punk screwing Drew McIntyre over as dressed as a ref. So that got 6 points from the 3 of us. Didn't win this year, but that was a winnable moment. That could have been a Moment of the Year type of thing. Number 3, The Rock slapping Cody. That got 8 points from us, okay? That didn't win. Number 2, Cody finishing his story with number 10. It didn't win either. 10 points. 10 points, Cody finishing his story. The winner of Moment of the Year is Hangman Page burning down Swerve's house.
That's
with 11 points. With 11 points. 11 points. So Hangman Page gets a trophy for burning down Swerve's house. He gets rewarded.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I took those marijuana pills, I think. Hold on. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait, hold on.
It got 11 points. It didn't get any first place votes, so that's kind of weird. So it finished 3rd place for Robert, 3 points. 4th place for Vlad, 2 points. And then on mine, it was 2nd place, so it picked up a big 4 points.
Damn, man.
On mine. So
now I regret even putting it on the list. I was trying to do AEW a kindness. This is what happens when I try to be nice to AEW.
No. It barely edges out Cody finishing his story.
Oh my god. Is this a rip?
That's
Am I being swerved?
You're getting swerved. You're getting swerved.
I'm getting swerved by Swerve Strickland. Oh my god.
It would have been better if it was a tie. I would have preferred it if they tied, but I still like that Hangman Page won this. So I'm gonna send this trophy over to Hangman's house. He can keep this. At least he still has a house.
That's
he can
right.
put it somewhere in his house. Swerve ain't got no house, so he don't need
no.
Anyways, moving on. But all right, so that'll conclude our show. I do want to just gloss over a couple things, if I could, to end the show. not go very much in depth, but this past week we usually do a in-depth review of like Raw and SmackDown and AEW. But the only thing I'll mention from this whole week was on Raw, because the New Day are heels now and everyone hates them. And Kofi Kingston thought he could at least get a hug from his mother, and even his mother turned him down. And him yelling out, "Ma!"
Yeah, that was good.
That was great. This deserves a moment of the year honorable mention, I think. As far as our awards go, but it was very recent, so it didn't make our list. But I thought this was a great moment of this week, so I will just mention that.
Yeah, it was
another. How about Ricochet and Swerve? You guys remember this one?
I'm going to embarrass you, and I'm going to make it big. You see, that's why you ain't got no house no more.
The crowd went, "Oh my god!"
It's such a stupid line that it's still funny though. But yes,
dude. So I forgot to mention at World's End, after Ricochet got eliminated by Okada.
Oh yeah, what was up with the toilet paper? Who was throwing that? That was Swerve.
Well, Swerve and Nana brought out toilet paper and handed it to the crowd to throw
and they started throwing it at him. I gotcha.
Yeah.